What's up, my comic comrades? Aquaman is all in with Aquaman issue 1 as part of DC's epic All In initiative. That's right, the King of Atlantis is back and with an all-new power set. They gave the King of the Seven Seas some power upgrades, which they reveal in this issue, so let's get into it. Alright, so the issue starts off with panels of moments in time throughout Aquaman's life. Captions then tell us this is not a story of Arthur Curry as a boy, a hero, a lover, or even a king. No, this is the story of the Dark Tide. This is the story of Arthur Curry, the God Killer, as we see Aquaman fighting a gigantic Cthulhu-like sea creature. But that is clearly a glimpse of things yet to come. The story of Arthur Curry, the God Killer. The comic then brings us to a year before Aquaman faces off against that creature, and we see a plane about to crash into the ocean saying, "Mayday, Mayday, this is Metropolis 234. We're 50 miles east of Manhattan. We're experiencing engine malfunction and losing altitude quickly. We're going down. I repeat, we are going down." We then see the Coast Guard making their way to get divers in the water to give aid. But one of the Coast Guard says, "Captain, sir, there's something in the water moving fast on an intercept course." The captain says, "All right, belay those orders. Put divers on hold." The other Coast Guard says, "But Captain, the plane." The captain responds, "Son, I'm not worried about the plane. Not anymore," as he clearly knows the thing moving fast to intercept is Aquaman coming to save the day. And on the next page, we see exactly that. Aquaman launches out of the water with captions telling us, "I'm back. Back as king. Back as part of the Justice League. Back helping those in need. Though now with different powers. Something I'll need to adjust to as quickly as possible." Mera then asks, "Can you do it?" He responds, "I think so." Captions of Aquaman then say, "Mera, the love of my life. I've taken on her hydrokinesis, and this is her way of teaching me how to use it." That's right, not only can Aquaman communicate with sea life and is the king of Atlantis, the seven seas, but now he has the power to manipulate and control water itself. To which I say is about damn time. Mera has been able to do it for a long time, so why not Aquaman himself? Anyway, Mera tells him, "Close your eyes, concentrate on the water, feel it, pull it to you." Aquaman's captions say, "Easier said than done, but I can feel it, the water bending, being pulled up toward the plane, keeping it." As the captain of the plane says, "We've leveled out." Then on the next page, we see that's because Aquaman was able to use his newfound hydrokinesis to catch the plane with the water and ease it down slowly. Mera says, "Good, Arthur, good." Captions from Aquaman tell us, "It feels good, it feels right." Once Aquaman safely catches the plane with the water, he has sea life come to aid the passengers and bring them to safety. Aquaman then tells Mera, "That took a lot out of me." She replies, "I can imagine. Even at the height of my powers, what you did would be challenging." He then says, "Thanks for the reminder," as he returns to Atlantis for his kingly duties. Now, let's pause here for a second because that's a crazy revelation we just got from that little back and forth. When Aquaman said, "That took a lot out of me," Mera tells him, "I can imagine, even at the height of my powers, what you did would be challenging." This means that even at the peak of her hydrokinesis abilities, what he just did as a beginner would be incredibly challenging for her, a veteran. And again, he just did it while still learning how to control and use his powers, with her literally still training him on it. Meaning when Aquaman has full mastery of this new ability, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with because he's already doing things that are hard for her to do. Anyway, after this, Aquaman arrives back at Atlantis and Jackson says, "My king, the nobles are arriving," but Jackson Hyde requests a moment. "I told them your schedule is packed." Aquaman replies, "Jackson, where have you been off to?" He replies, "I found something strange, a pearl." Aquaman asks, "What's so strange about a pearl? You do know where we live, right?" Jackson responds, "Garth says it's magical, but I don't know. I have a bad feeling about it. I just thought you should know." Now, Jackson is right about this because a note in the book says this pearl is the same pearl from Flashpoint Beyond issue 1, which we covered here on the channel. If you watched that video or read that issue for yourself, you know that Aquaman in the Flashpoint Beyond timeline had a pearl or an orb called the Ocean Orb. Said orb would soon fall into the possession of Flashpoint Batman after Flashpoint Wonder Woman killed Aquaman with his own trident. As for the orb, it's a magical artifact that gives its user immense power over water. No one knows the origins of this Ocean Orb, but it is incredibly old and possibly dates back before the beginning of time. But more on that as we continue covering the issue. Anyway, after Jackson tells Aquaman about this pearl, Aquaman tells him, "If you find anything else, come get me. Even if I'm in a meeting, especially if I'm in a meeting." Because Aquaman, as we see on the next page, is not fond of his kingly duties. As he sits on the throne wearing the crown, he literally narrates, "Heavy is the crown. It's the same every day, bickering over the state of Atlantis, the ocean, the seaweed farms, or sharks that have gotten too close to the border. He's just not a fan of having to rule Atlantis and would rather be fighting and saving the world and ocean from threats. Luckily for him, a threat does arise in Daytona Beach, Florida, as one of his men comes in saying, "My king, there's trouble." So he heads to Florida only to see a massive water monster about to make landfall. Captions from Aquaman say, "I'm there before it makes landfall. A fully sentient creature of water. I've seen something similar before, but this shouldn't exist." The creature punches Aquaman into a nearby apartment building, sending him through a wall and landing in an old couple's bathroom. They ask, "Are you okay, young man?" He says, "Decidedly not." The woman asks, "Is there something we could do?" He then launches out of the window saying, "Stand back." As Aquaman continues to fight this creature, his captions say, "Maybe if this creature is made of water, I just have to concentrate. Though it's tossing me like a hurricane, but I can pull, twist, change this water into," as he uses his hydrokinesis to dismember this water creature and it disappears. Captions say, "It's gone, just the quiet of the ocean remains, the sound of fish and water," and as he hears Mera scream his name, he swims back to Atlantis as fast as he can. But when he gets there, he sees Atlantis in ruins, and all of his family is gone. He only finds the Ocean Orb floating at the center of it all. Naturally, Aquaman heads to the Justice League Watchtower and asks for Batman. When he finds him and Wonder Woman, she asks, "What happened?" Aquaman responds, "I don't know. I was fighting a monster of some kind, and then I heard Mera's voice. When I got there, I saw a blinding light." Batman asks, "Are they," Aquaman interjects, "dead?" "I don't know. All of Atlantis is gone, save for the pearl." We then see Zatanna using her magic on the pearl, saying, "Never seen anything like this." Aquaman asks her, "What is it, Zatanna?" She replies, "Something powerful, very ancient, and for some reason, whatever it is lost to me." Batman asks her, "What does that mean?" She tells him, "It means I should know what this is, what it does. But it is as if someone has hidden it from the tapestries of magic, maybe before the beginning of time. But I have found one thing, a corresponding thread, a similar vibration." Aquaman asks, "Where?" She tells him, and as he heads there, Batman and Wonder Woman join him. When they get there, Aquaman says, "The pearl. It's glowing." Batman says, "We need to go. It could be priming to explode." Aquaman takes it out of the bag saying, "No, I don't think so. I feel it calling, beckoning me to let it go, let it be free." So he does and goes to the center of the structure they've arrived at. As the Ocean Orb moves to the center of the structure, strange things start to happen. Batman asks, "Do you know what it is, Arthur?" He responds, "A gate. I can feel it, or something calling to me from inside. I have to go." Batman tells him, "It could be a trap." Aquaman responds, "It could lead to Atlantis." Wonder Woman says, "Then go. Go with the blessing of the gods. Go and find your people. Find your wife." Batman adds, "And if anyone stands in your way, give them hell." So Aquaman goes through the portal that the Ocean Orb has made, but when he goes through, a huge flash happens, and when the debris clears, we see the gate is actually a Darkseid symbol. Wonder Woman then says, "Bruce?" with Batman saying, "I see it, and God help Arthur. God help us all." This is kind of huge. The orb is somehow tied to Darkseid, or he's somehow able to control it, which is absolutely nuts because when we saw this orb in Flashpoint Beyond issue 1, we learned the orb grants its users great power over water. Could it also be the source of Aquaman's new powers? I mean, we know a lot of heroes were granted new and different powers after the Absolute Power event, centering around Amanda Waller, but what if this orb has something to do with it too? At least one thing is for certain, it all leads to Darkseid. Darkseid is a huge part of DC's All-In initiative, and he's the creator of the Absolute Universe, which we found out in the All-In special. But what are Darkseid's plans for Atlantis and Aquaman? We know it's gotta be important because at the very beginning of the issue, they called Arthur Curry the God Killer. Darkseid is a god, so is Arthur the one who's gonna come face to face with Darkseid, at least at first? Seems possible, we'll just have to wait and find out. Either way, I'm excited about this Aquaman title and story. I love it so far. Aquaman finally has hydrokinesis abilities. I don't know why it took so long for this to happen, but it'll be fun to see the extent of what he can do with this new ability. I mean, we know he's already stronger with this ability than Mera, so that says a lot. But what do you guys think of this issue? Did you enjoy it as much as we did? And what do you hope to see Aquaman do with his new abilities? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. Other than that, we'll see you next time when we talk about all things comics.